Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Because I can't get tie-in on these intros when they go live. So we got to get it out somehow. How we all doing? Get a few people in the building. Haven't done a live in about 2 weeks. So I said, right, I got to get one in this evening. I've got a bit of free time. Got to get one in. Because I think I'm pretty busy the rest of the week as well. Stuff on tomorrow. Thursday, I'm not too sure about. That could kind of chop and change. So I might not get a chance to do one of these before the weekend's out. So let's just see. Let's get a few people in the building. And yeah, let's get talking. We got 45 minutes to an hour to kill. So why not? Why not we talk? Obviously, I think the first thing we got to talk about is Fury versus Usyk. What's happening there? And the mandatories, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's a bit all over the shop at the minute. It really is. But I'll touch on it more briefly. I'd like to know what some of the people in the comment section think. At the end of the day, in hindsight, you probably could see this coming. I did think the IBF might leave it a bit longer, but in hindsight, I guess you could probably say this was probably inevitable, that they were going to order the mandatory pretty damn quickly. But I just find it strange that, like, you know, here's the IBF within, 3 months less of Herkovich winning that mandatory spot. They've ordered it. But Errol Spence now hasn't made a mandatory defense since the summer of 2018. Hasn't even had a mandatory called. And it's not like the car crash. I mean, he came back in 2020 of all times. Like, it was easily enough time to get one called between now and then. I think Boots was even saying he's trying to push to get himself mandatory. It's like, well, you can do it for one, but you can't do it for the other. Shout out to Ali Drew. Every time. You're always first, dear. You're always first. If only that was the real Ali Drew. Although saying that, the real Ali Drew ain't girlfriend material. I mean, she's eye candy, but Jesus, that girl isn't girlfriend material. Big up to Kiva. More Tommy Fury's videos, G-Man, like the rants. Yeah, they done well, didn't they? They done really well. He just pisses me off, that Tommy Fury. You know, that's just someone who's he just does not care. There's talk of him fighting Jake Paul in February, either in England or in Saudi. At the end of the day, that fight's going to do crazy numbers. Like, it will. I mean, that fight, seeing John Fury go with Jake Paul as well. And I think, do you know what I think as well, right? One of the reasons why it might be better not to have that fight in the States is because John Fury is going to put eyes on things, because people want to see I want to see what happens if the two of them are face-to-face at a press conference, Jake Paul and John Fury. You don't get that. It's funny seeing it over Zoom. It is. When John Fury was there and Jake Paul was in, I think he was in Puerto Rico. But when you see it in person, it is funny. John Fury ain't playing when he's saying, you know, them kind of things. Oh, he ain't playing. Anyone who thinks John Fury's playing, he ain't playing. Big up to Ben. All right, people. No. All right, people. Yeah. ALRIGHT. That's the all right. Not all right. All right, people. Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? I never even planned on using that as, like, to start a video. People just, I just say it. And people kept picking up on it. And they were like, oh, would you just say it? And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I was saying that at the start of all the videos until people said it. Now it's kind of just there. Big up to Stephen. The Chisora fight will be Fury's last. He's on the edge of a post-Klitschko breakdown. I don't see it. I don't see it. Doesn't like it when the media and public turn on him, and it's starting to happen now. Yeah, look, I don't see it going that way, because it's not like a witch hunt like it was in 2015. I think that Fury, look, this is a crap fight, the Chisora fight. And, you know, I was watching the BT card on Friday, and they had basically a little promo of Chisora with Fury on the canvas saying never say never. And it's like, you're reaching that far, you know, elastic don't reach that far. It ain't gonna happen. I think it was a hat man who said he'd put this higher than Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. And I would as well, because I honestly, like, I cannot envision any scenario in which Chisora beats Tyson Fury. I cannot envision it. If he does, honestly, like, I don't know. If he beat Tyson Fury, I just don't know. I just cannot see it. Suffalo Boulder. Good morning from Australia to everyone. Hope you all have a great day. It's 8 o'clock in the evening now, mate. European time. Yes, G-man, big up to Scott. Huge boxing fans here, huge boxing fan here, almost finished with the sport. So much BS. Is your interest fading, G-man? To be honest with you, mate, like, I used the analogy once that boxing fans are like the abused spouse. They just keep coming back. And in this situation, I am the abused spouse because I just will keep coming back. I love boxing. I can't. I know it does. It really does irk me off sometimes. It really does when you see stuff like this. But I don't think I'd ever be in a situation where I'd leave boxing behind. I love it. If the IBF enforced their managers, what's stopping the WBO from doing the same? I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk fights Joyce. You see, Frank Warren has an interest in this fight, and he's got a good relationship with the WBO. So he would obviously put serious amounts of pressure on them to call the mandatory immediately after. But he's not going to. You see, Frank Warren won't wait. He will wait. He'll wait until that fight's signed and sealed, and then he will make sure that mandatory is called like that. Because it's very much in his interest to let the fight go. Let that fight happen. Let's all hate on Fury. He keeps ducking the best, coming out to fight with St. George Cross on St. George Day. Dug up a lot of hate. Call Tommy Fury what you want. Or what he really is. A YouTube fighter, nothing more. He's garbage. That's what I call him. I've been directing people, Americans from other channels who are convinced Tommy Fury is a proper boxer and beats Jake Paul. I direct them to your channel. It's incredible to listen to them. Yeah, like, honestly, like, the more I watch Jake Paul, the more I think, like, he's definitely beating Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is garbage. Again, like, this is a guy who trains for boxing, but he trains as in lifting weights. He doesn't do any boxing training. If he did, you'd see a minor improvement. John Fury really loves staying in the limelight. I think that John Fury, he likes the limelight, but he's also pretty damn serious when he's squaring up to them guys. Yes, salute to Jamie. Big up every single time. Lads. Jamie, you're only about 20 subs off 5K. Lads, you got to go over the punch perfect. He's like 20 subs off 5K. I was watching his prediction video this morning. I was like, he's got like 4.98. I'm like, come on. He's right. He's literally at 5K. Let's get Jamie to 5K. G-man, you need to check up the to-date records of Tommy Fury's opponent. Still have a 1-1 fight on the record and have lots more fights. Well, there you go. I mean, that just says it all, right? That it's not like he's fighting debutantes. And even then, debutantes, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get there. But these have had multiple fights and not won one of them. I mean, that says it all. And big up to Jamie. Used to be a fan of Hearn's, but the man this weekend has made me realise how much of a snake he is. Horrible situation. And I saw a video of him at the Love Fight saying he was going to try and get an appeal to DQ. Yeah, look, I think when someone's in a crisis, you start seeing their true colours. And Eddie Hearn has had it his own way for however many years now. And now, excuse me, now it's getting harder. And look, this is a guy who accused Al Heyman of pausing Undisputed or stopping Undisputed. Now he could be in a situation where you can't say like where Eddie Hearn has done this deliberately, but I'm sure he's lobbied the IBF to get this. And hopefully there can be a situation put in place. I mean, if you're Hrgovic, just take the goddamn step aside money, for God's sake. Just take the goddamn step aside money. You're getting free money. There's an opinion that AJ will announce his retirement soon. How do you think his career will be viewed in years to come if he does? Smash the like button. Yeah, smash the like button. AJ's career will be viewed well, I think. I think there'll always be question marks about certain things and certain decisions. Like, if AJ was to call it quits, just say now for argument's sake, 2-time champion, he's got wins over Vladimir Klitschko, unified with Joseph Parker, Povetkin, Takam, Pulev, what has he beaten? Dylan White. Good wins. Like, I mean, you can't just say like they're all garbage. They're good wins. They're very good wins. Oh yeah, beat him clearly. More clearly than Parker did. So AJ has good wins. You can't take that away from him. I think for me, the thing I'd always be looking at is if they hadn't have fought Charles Martin and he'd just kind of gone through the motions as a contender, what kind of fighter would we have now? Would we have a more mentally strong fighter? Would we have a fighter who maybe went through a crisis at European level and came through it stronger and was able to deal with the pressure at world level? That's a few questions I have. In terms of his resume, I mean, you can't argue. His resume is there for all to see. It's a great resume. You know, he fought who he had to fight. He made unifications with Joseph Parker. He fought Vladimir Klitschko. In my opinion, at the time, and I still think, even now looking back, he wasn't ready for that. But he was able to pull it from the depth of the jaws. He was able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. They're trying to promote the Fury Chisora fight by using Leicester winning the league. Really? Really? Jesus. Leicester were actually not a bad team. You know, they showed what they could do towards the back end of the previous season. Not only did they get a relegation, they came 14th, I think, that season. So they proper showed what they could do. Chisora has just looked garbage. Big up to E-Machine. And big up to Jono, Big Boys Boxing. We're all doing well. I think Chisora might be really tough and try to get a head clash. That Fury eye is a worry, and I would worry about that, to be honest with you. That would be now, if Fury, say, did get an injury, say he got an eye injury and it was an injury that took, say, 6 months, Usyk should just fight Hrgovic, because there's no point waiting. Fury drops Chisora southpaw, yeah, he's beating Chisora. I agree too. Hearn has been grinding my gears with the attempt at playing dumb when it comes to the Hrgovic situation. Yeah. Penguin. Is Bivol versus Nello on Cinco de Mayo weekend true? Honestly, like, I would say that Bivol wants Undisputed. He doesn't want Canelo. I'd say he's focusing more on Undisputed. And I'm glad he's doing that. Like, I think he beats Canelo again. I don't really want to see it again. But I want to see him versus Beterbiev. Interesting that he said, let's go straight to purse bid. Is he hoping Usyk will vacate? I think he will. And I don't see Usyk doing that. I don't see him doing that at all. Hope you're doing well, man. Did you see the Montana Love fight the weekend? Defo looked for a way out, in my opinion. Eddie didn't do himself any favors either post-fight. Yeah, Eddie Hearn really, the interviews he's been doing himself, since the whole Conor Benn situation, more bad than good for his reputation. Got knocked out in sparring by an amateur who was around the Team GB team. Really? Any sources for that, mate? Because I well believe, I wouldn't believe it, but I haven't heard anything. Yeah, I think he'd stop Fury. Do you hate Tommy Fury? I don't hate him. I just think he's a clown. But there's very different from hating him. I definitely don't hate the guy. Don't know. But just from what I've seen, he comes across as a clown. I'm convinced Tommy Fury came in overweight because he doesn't want to fight just the exposure. Possibly. Of course he has. This is the guy who predicted Joe Hanks to beat Joe Joyce. Didn't he pick Rod Salka to beat Danny Garcia? I think he did anyway. Might have. Very close. It's annoying. Mate, it's so frustrating. Like, I am worried. At the minute now, I think I'm at 9,562 or 63, one or the other. And you're just like, I'm over halfway there. It's like, just do it. Just get me over the line. You know, I'm nearly there. I'm nearly at 10K. Like, that is just something that I'm just looking at constantly. I'm just like, get me the 10K. Once I see that 10 appear, it's just going to be like, damn. Yeah. Yeah, so they say February the 4th. On pay-per-view, though, mate. I don't like that being on pay-per-view. I think it tanks on pay-per-view, truth be told. I really do. I think that'll absolutely tank a pay-per-view. We're beaten by age. Klitschko was definitely older. Povetkin had seen better. Well, he hadn't seen better days, but I think that was Povetkin old and clean. If you were talking about a younger Povetkin on the old Meldonium, oh, that would have been very different. God knows what might have happened there. Big up to Joe Stunner Boxing. Every time. There won't be an appeal on that. No. Eddie had to say that to settle Love down. Yeah, I can't see him appealing it. What's there to appeal, like? I hope he does, mate. I hope he does. Now, to be fair, I don't know what happened with the Dylan White situation, but to me, that was a risky fight. I would have thought for Dubois, but it's a fight that, and you know something? I doubt you'll be able to match the amount that Dylan White would get for fighting AJ. But if you could, if Frank Warren thought it was feasible, and I don't think it is, because I don't think Dubois White would do the numbers that AJ White 2 would do. I just don't think it would. And I don't think Warren has the pockets either. But if Dubois comes through this fight on the undercard of Fury versus Chisora, I'd be looking to make an offer to Dylan White because I think it's a risk worth taking. You get that name on your scalp. But for Dylan White, I mean, do you want a big payday or do you want a world title? I mean, I know the WBA regular. I mean, is it a world title? Not really. But officially, you'll go down as a champion. Yep. Almost 42. Maybe we do have to remember that. AJ, great career. Battered and quit against Ruiz and beaten twice by a middleweight. But you got to look at his wins, mate. You know, I've always been accused of being an AJ fanboy. And to be honest with you, I've no great love for the guy, really. You know, he wouldn't be kind of my cup of tea as a person. But I have to give credit where credit's due. He's got great wins in the resume. And you could say, yeah, it's age. Yeah, age as well. It doesn't help with the Klitschko thing. But at the end of the day, you still got to beat the guys in front of you. And he did all that relatively inexperienced. Once they see the replay, and see it was obviously intentional, there'd be no appeal. Yeah, be no appeal. Big up to the size game. G-Man, you're really cute. Do you date men? Definitely not, mate. 100% no. Big up to the size game. Fight is not big enough for a stadium. Peter Fury made Tyson Fury. John said he runs 10k a day. Get out of here. See the size of his belly, the heavyweight division. Yeah. I mean, John Fury, he looked like he'd been hitting the five guys. Yeah, I thought Spark was on his way to winning. I watched the full fight there last night, and it looked like Spark was in it. Looked like Spark was doing what he needed to do, and he was going to take it, to be honest. And then just Love was just like, get me out of here. Yeah, I seen TalkSport were giving some of those tickets away. I would be skeptical about that. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are on StubHub, but I wouldn't be surprised as well if we do get the fight night and it's full, to be honest. They might be cheaper come fight week. That's a very good question. Maybe Austria, because I know Hrgovic has fought there before. Now, Austria borders Slovakia, which borders Ukraine. So it might be easier. And at the end of the day, without going into detail, that part of Ukraine that borders Slovakia, there's nothing happening there. So there's no reason why they wouldn't try and go to that. AJ, great career management, avoided Fury and Wilder. Hate is a strong word, but I do dislike Furies, except Peter and Huey. And Shane seems okay too, not a nut job. Yeah, Shane Fury is cool. Huey Fury is one of the most unreliable fighters you'll get. I mean, Michael Hunter has essentially wasted a year of his career. That's a year of his career essentially gone down the drain, wanting to fight Huey Fury, having 2 pull-outs. And now he's not with Boxer anymore. So Huey Fury is extremely unreliable. Extremely. Peter Fury is tremendous. His boxing brain, his knowledge, just brilliant. In doubt? Really? No. I genuinely think they'll let that go. They'll let that happen. Big up to MVG. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I'm hearing rumors December 17th. And again, like, we're having this same situation again. If it is December 17th, Chris Billum-Smith has a card down in Bournemouth that night. And you got Dan Aziz versus Rocky Fielding on the undercard. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know at this point who you'd give him, to be honest with you. I mean, like, Jan Pascal is not going to happen. Who would you actually give him? Would they seriously go and put a Chilemba in there, who's old as dirt at this stage? AJ's medical exemption versus Ruiz. We're probably looking at a night out Christmas party. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Maybe a couple of companies and businesses. I read it a few times. I think Billy Nelson confirmed it somewhere. It was around a month ago when John Fury kicked him out, kicked on the lad and didn't even pay him, etc. I'd well believe that. I'd well believe that. AJ's medical exemption. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. Oh, I thought you meant the WBC banning the people from that country. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Just why would you do that? Like, once again, Fury doesn't have to fight someone on his level. You think it's possible the IBF acted because they're scared that if Fury beats Usyk that he might put their belt in the bin. That's actually that isn't a bad shout, because he did actually say that the IBF, didn't he say he'd never fight for that belt again, or he would bin it because the IBF basically stripped him almost immediately after he fought Klitschko. Now, was it, what's the guy's name? Vyacheslav Glasgow, I think his name was. He's never fought actually since he got beat by Charles Martin, where he injured his knee. Must have been a lot worse than we thought. He was mandatory, and Fury obviously signed the rematch clause for Klitschko, which was silly, and he ended up getting stripped, and he wasn't happy about that. So that's a decent point. That's a fair point by SB Gaz. That's actually a very, very, very good point you made there, mate. Very good point. And potentially, I mean, the IBF, they'd certainly, I mean, if he won it and threw it in the bin, I mean, that just would not look good for them. Beaten twice by a middleweight. No, beaten twice by a generational talent. Yeah, exactly. Beaten twice by a generational. Usyk was a middleweight when he was like 15. He's 35 now. I think Dubois should keep building himself up. He's not a star yet and needs more time with his trainer. Him and Shane McGuigan. I really hope that they... I'm not seeing the improvements I want to see straight away from Dubois, but I think it's there. It's there. I'm looking forward to the shock when AJ stops Fury. I will be picking him to stop Fury, to be honest with you, mate. I'll be picking Fury in that one handy. I'll fight till May. Yeah, shout out to Prince Andrew. Big up every time. John Fury, almost as disgraceful as me. I think you and your brother are top of that list, mate. I don't think anyone's going to top you and your older brother. I think you and him are in a league of your own. Don't worry about that, mate. With Eubank and Haye on his CV, do you think Carl Thompson's an underachiever? Yeah, Eubank and Haye. Eubank twice and David Haye. Carl Thompson was a warrior, man. He was a warrior. He was a great fighter. Swiss. Yeah, but you could do it there, yeah, as well. I think they'll probably do it in Austria, though, for some reason. Either entire swats of Fury tickets somehow made their way to StubHub. The same StubHub that Warren was lambasting Hearn for. Yep. Old fish eyes. Old man fish eyes. He never... that's Frank. That is good old Frankie boy. Do you think casuals in the UK will watch a fight between two non-English speaking fighters? That's a good question. I always kind of, when I look at like fighters, and I think, are they kind of at a level that the casuals will watch, will be if they know who they are, just to know the name, without me talking about them, if you know what I mean. Like, a lot of my friends would have known who Kell Brook was, and many people would say, was Kell Brook really a star? Well, a lot of my friends are casuals, they all knew who Kell Brook was pre-Triple G. They didn't know who Triple G was, though, until he fought him. I would say it would do decent enough, but that's a good point. Peter Fury says John doesn't let Tyson take risks, and Usyk and Joshua are risks. They're massive risks. Well, the Joshua one, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much, but yeah. Might be no fights after Poland, World Cup threat. The Czechs decided to declare. Okay, interesting. It's not something I really look into, mate, to be honest with you. Mate, really? How much did he weigh? 320 pounds or something in his last fight? So he used to lose 120 pounds. I wonder that you're troubling with that comment, mate. The very notion that Miller could even the notion he could even get near 250 pounds. What are your thoughts on the breakdown? For me, from the outside looking in, it looked like Fury made it quite hard for AJ to agree on things. That's how it looked from my point of view. It looked like almost like he was deliberately trying to make it hard. so he could just hit AJ over the head with that. Ah, well, we made an offer, but you didn't want it. You didn't want to listen. Yeah, I did see it. He's talking about legal issues, so I'm assuming we won't see Lawrence Okolie in the ring until next year at some point, and it will, when we see him next in the ring, won't be with Zone or Eddie Hearn. I took that to mean he's looking to get out of his matchroom contract with legally. NBA, King David, you skipped my comment. Unsubscribe. I didn't see your comment, mate. If you left one. Maybe Poland for Usyk Hrgovic, possibly. Spence Crawford. No, Spence Crawford. I'm sorry, Spence Crawford. Spence Crawford. Definitely. Now, the other two. Haha. If it had happened in 2018, Spence Crawford, Wilder, AJ. But now, Spence Crawford, Bivol Beterbiev, Wilder, AJ. I always felt bad for Carl Thompson over the Johnny Nelson stoppage. Yeah, it was premature. Even Johnny Nelson said that stoppage was premature. So it's not like you could turn around and say, like, oh, well, Johnny Nelson. Johnny Nelson even said, yeah, that was a bad stoppage. By 90 standards as well. I'll see if I can get it for you here. I might not have it. I'll see if I can get it. He released a statement in the last hour or so, and I'll just see if it's still there. Because I was only glancing at it. No, I don't have it now at the minute, but he's basically, I think, hinting at the fact that he may have to go down, or maybe going down a legal road, just to maybe kind of get. Look, I'm assuming it's to get out of his matchroom contract, but it could be something different. I don't know. Fury respected White in their fight, but looked so slow. If AJ put it on him, risk being KO'd himself, Fury would book him. Even my main man in chat, what I see happening is Joyce mandatory being forced. Fury will try and put Usyk through a war to compromise him. That's interesting. I'm not sure the kind of ins and outs. I know the WBO, to my knowledge, haven't. He is WBO, isn't he? I think he is. Haven't announced the mandatory yet. Yeah, he's definitely WBO. Big Baby should try sumo wrestling. Yeah, Big Farmer. That's what we call him. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. You see, people look at the David Haye Wilder sparring and instantly assume David Haye will win that fight. But David Haye said it himself, that he took little snippets of that sparring session where he was looking good, and he put that out to the public. And he said, for the most part, Wilder was more than holding his own. And yet people still, even though David Haye said that, people still hit Wilder over the head and be like, oh, you got battered by David Haye. It's like David Haye even said it himself, that wasn't the spar. It was not the whole spar. If I look at it from the outside looking in, David Haye struggled with tall guys. Wilder can use his height pretty well. And I think David Haye would be very cautious about fighting Deontay Wilder, in a sense of, if he was in there, he'd be cautious because he'd know that right hand is coming. David Haye can be hurt. And David Haye was never that good against taller guys. He always looked to use his speed against taller opponents. But Wilder, he is every bit as fast. Maybe not as fast as Haye, but he's not going to be as slow as a Klitschko, or he's not going to be as slow as a Valiev. So for me, I would say probably, if I had to pick, Wilder by stoppage, and probably clean stoppage too. Some thoughts I had on the breakdown. Did you see the True Geordie interview with Fury? Was a great interview. That was a great interview. Big up to Chris V. Hit the like button if you could, people. So 9060 is in the building. Smash the like button. Yeah, McCroy, McKenna, Donovan, and there is a few prospects on it. Yeah, it's not a bad card. I just think Conlon should be fighting someone better than he is. That's what I think. But it's not actually a bad card. The mic is too hard to listen to. The mic is normally pretty damn good. It normally does the trick. There was rumors. Yeah, he's on it. I think he's only going to be in he won't be in a big, massive fight. It's just going to be a small one. if Hearn stopped Brook from fighting GGG, would Brook have been one of the greatest ever at 147, even beaten Spence without it being damaged? I think that Brook would have definitely, it's a real what if, and it's a real case of you ran when you should have walked, because, Brook, sometimes taking the shorter end of the stick can work out better in the long run. So he would have got only a couple of $100,000 for fighting Vargas, but I think he would have beat Vargas. I think he would have beaten pretty handily, to be honest with you. Now he's got 2 titles. Pacquiao fought Vargas. That could have been Brook. Now, Pacquiao in 2016 was not the Pacquiao of 2010. And I think Brook would have given Pacquiao all sorts of problems. So imagine you fight Pacquiao. You're getting millions for fighting him. And you're doing it on pay-per-view probably. And you beat him. Just think of that. And I'm thinking you could have got that if you'd have taken less and fought Vargas rather than go in there and fight Triple G. And I'm thinking, would he have gone down as one of the greatest? Hard to say, but he would definitely have done very well. And him and Spence is a very good fight. Would have been a much better fight. It was a good fight when they fought in 2017. If he can't get Bivol, he's going to PBC, I think. I think Wilder knocks out Haye. Yeah, I think he does too. What fights do you think will be on the Croke Park card? Obviously, Kate Taylor, Gary Cully, Kevin Njatu will probably be on there as well. And then it's kind of like, I hope it happens. I really, really, really do. It's really kind of going to be it's just going to be a kind of pick 'em. You'll have all these Irish fighters looking to get on it. And of course, they all want to. So it's going to be interesting. Some of them may even have to take the away corner to get on it, but they will. And why wouldn't they want to get on it? It'd be massive. If they do it in April or May, for one, I'll be 100% trying to get, media passes to that for myself, because Croke Park is about 25 minutes, half hour away from me. I wouldn't drive in, but I get the bus in. Because the bus from Swords to Croke Park it drops you in Drumcondra, which is walking distance to Croke Park, so it will take me about 25 minutes anyway, over and back. So it will be, I hope to God it happens. I really do. Prime Haye versus Prime Usyk, you see again, that's a great fight. And it's not a foregone Usyk wins. I pick Usyk, but I wouldn't say it's a foregone. There you go. Wilder KOs him for me, yeah. Oh, sorry, someone gave a super chat. What am I doing? Forgetting to read that. Big up to Joe every time. Thanks, G-Man. Did you catch the Tasha Jonas fight? Also, did John Fury embarrass himself against Jake Paul, or in front of Jake Paul? Yeah, I seen the Tasha Jonas fight. She boxed very well. I thought the 100, the 10 rounds, the none scorecard was a bit harsh, because her opponent did win some rounds in there. I thought that was a bit harsh. I think that the 97-93 one that was what I thought it was. In terms of John Fury, I think John Fury inadvertently helped sell the fight rather than embarrass himself, to be honest with you, mate. Nice audio, lad. Loud and clear from my dodgy old ears. Yeah, there you go. Big old Andy. Big Prince Andy. Kell Brook was good, but one of the best. He wouldn't have gone down as one of the best, but he would have. We'd be talking about Kell Brook in a sense of, where do you rate him? Is he in the top 10 of all time at welterweight? I was like, big up to Adam. Eddie has Linares for Hughes. Maxi Hughes versus Linares. That's not a bad fight. I'd be picking Maxi Hughes though, but now wants to give Jorge to Cully. That would be good for Gary Cully. I think Gary Cully stopped Jorge Linares. I don't trust his chin. Jorge Linares is still really, really sticking around. Does he need to at this point? But yeah, Gary Cully versus Linares. They'll obviously put Kevin Njatu on. And then I'm just trying to think, he's not really got that many Irish fighters. I'm just trying to think who he would put on, because he's obviously going to want to put on big ticket sellers as well, because Croke Park holds over 80,000 fans. And he's going to want to put people on who maybe, they're not with rival promoters or stuff. It's a tricky one. He'll probably try and do, if he doesn't do an all-Irish card, he'll try and do a majority of it. I doubt it. I doubt we'll see Conlon on it. I could be wrong, but Conlon's top rank, or at least he was. I think he still is. So I doubt he'll do that. Wilder is definitely not that. Yeah, I think he would as well. We know Wilder can soak up punishment, and I don't see Haye surviving. I don't see Haye being able to avoid it. His right hand is faster than Klitschko's. The JP beat Fury. I think Jake Paul does. John Fury showed little respect for Tommy by making that all about him. Imagine trying to do that with Tyson. Yeah, Tyson wouldn't take too kindly to that. Oh, yeah. Spike was saying, I seen him tweet that he wanted Dennis Hogan. But in Ngannou versus Spike at 154, that's not a bad one. I doubt it. I doubt they put him on that, but you never know. Oh, mate, I do these randomly, you know me. The Furies are more WWE than boxing, yeah. I'm just trying to think who else you'd get. Well, there you go. You get Keith Ngannou versus Spike. You get Kay Taylor, Gary Cully. He definitely probably put one or two of his prospects, British prospects or whoever, American, on there, because I can't think of any fighters that like are Irish that you would say are good enough or a whip matchroom that would go on there. And I mean, like, he is literally, Eddie Hearn is going to have people all over Ireland, like boxing managers and all that, messaging him non-stop. Put my fighter on, put my fighter on. If you could do a few domestic dust-ups, it might help. Tommy looked unbelievable at the weekend. Shame about his boxing, yeah. No. And I don't think it's in Usyk's nature. Yeah, I have. But what am I going to offer, man? I don't want to ask people for a Patreon and not give them something back, you know? So I'm just trying to, for me, it's like, what do I offer someone to do that? So I thought about it, but not for the minute now, no. The DJ come back. No, he's not beating Chris Eubank. Talk a lot of sense, mate. Thank you. Well, he's fighting, I can't remember, I think he's fighting a Bulgarian guy this week. And the rumor is they're going to announce him versus Beterbiev I don't know if Beterbiev's going to be there, but they're going to announce him versus Beterbiev for January. Now, I'm hearing some rumors, and they are only rumors, that Beterbiev versus Yard is actually going to be on pay-per-view. Now, I love the fight, don't get me wrong, I like the fight, but what the hell has Anthony Yard done to get himself on pay-per-view against Beterbiev? That just won't work. That's Frank Warren in a nutshell. Like, he'd have a go at Eddie Hearn for saying, "Oh, you said pay-per-views, then look at all the pay-per-views. Look at the pay-per-views you're putting on." God damn it. Thoughts on Fraser Clark? Yeah, Fraser Clark's not really impressed me too much. I don't see him going past European level either. He looked all right in there against Sakalowski, but nah, I don't see much of him, to be honest with you. You think Jake Paul will ever fight a legit boxer? Well, he tried to fight Rackman, so I know Rackman is not good, but he is still technically a legit boxer. Yeah, I don't know, he still keeps getting them chances. He got beat by Lara there in the summer, and Dennis Hogan, yeah. And Dennis Hogan, like, I know Mick Conlon works with a lot of the Irish guys. So would Mick Conlon let maybe a Patrick McCroy on? Because like Patrick McCroy defended his IBO title on that would be logical, like. What's that say? Conor Ben could make it. Conor O'Ben could make it. Yeah, there you go. Conor O'Ben. I'd give him more of a chance now, but I'd still pick Triple G. Yeah, Jake Paul is funny. Jake Paul he's got some charisma to him. I'll give him that. I think that's what it is. I think he is trying to. I think John Fury obviously set high standards of what he wants his sons to be like. And I guess Tommy Fury just wants to have the kind of almost, the fatherly, well done son. That sort of way. He kind of wants that. No. Andrew Tate gets battered in a box. He probably gets stopped pretty damn early as well. He gets battered. Yeah, I think he might, but he's going to need a lot of work and a lot of time. Well, I hope that's not how he's looking at it. I really do hope that's not how he's looking at it. I hope that, look, we can get this resolved and just get Undisputed over the line. Well, now, KSI, someone's at the KSI. I haven't really seen much of KSI. I really haven't. Yeah. I mean, the last 2 years, we haven't had anything on in January in the UK, so it'd be nice to get some fights on. Have I watched the Dahmer series on Netflix? Loved it. Loved your video on Jeff. Yeah, I did. I did watch it. It actually was quite good. It was quite good. Obviously, some of it was dramatized, obviously, but they really did do a good job in keeping it pretty like as close to real as it was. It was very good. I think it's 8 episodes, and I finished watching it a couple of weeks ago. It was pretty good. It was actually pretty damn good. The guy who played Jeffrey Dahmer, he did a really, really good job. Apparently, he was saying that even when he was offset, just out with his friends, he struggled to switch off the character. So, he'd be saying, like a lot of Dahmer sayings, what was it, when Dom would have a beer, he's like, you want a brewski or something like that? He was saying that like in bars after the people. It was crazy. Did Eddie Hearn beat Jordan 12 rounds? I have no idea. The Eubank Junior fight still has big pay-per-view with Saunders. That'd still be pay-per-view, I reckon. And GGG on the table. And that's without Conor Benn being revived. Smith is a good stay busy about. Yeah, man, if I've nothing to offer, then what's the point in doing it? Like, I don't want to just take money for no reason. I don't really watch TV, mate. I don't watch TV. Probably my favorite show in the last like 10 years has been The Last Kingdom. I love that. I really, really like that. But that's it, really. I don't really watch TV. It depends. Like, I mean, like if you got like, say you set Patreon as 10 quid a month and you got 10 people who've signed up to it, there's 100 quid for you. There you go. So, I mean, like, it depends. You'd need to, but like, see, I wouldn't just do it for that sake. I want to give something. Like, I want to give, I don't have time to do extra, if you know what I mean, at the minute. So I can't really turn around and say, like, I'll give you this, when I can't guarantee it, So that's why I'm not doing any Patreons at the minute now. Maybe in the future, but not now. Did you see Dan Aziz versus Rocky Fielding? Yeah, I think Dan Aziz is good, and I think it's a logical fight. Rocky Fielding's done very little over the last few years. So I think that Dan Aziz has to get a move on, because I think Dan Aziz is what, like 20 or 32, 31, 32. So he needs to get a move on, Dan Aziz. And I like Dan Aziz. When he fought Jose Burton, now I expected him to be Jose Burton, I'll be honest, but I didn't expect it like that. I was looking at that like, whoa. Wasn't expecting that. Kevin Bishop's Top Gear. Yeah, I used to like the old Top Gear with Hammond and Clarkson and May. No. Is Canelo making a massive mistake taking a bit of a rematch? And if it's not that, 160 for Canelo, make a defense. Yeah, like, I think he's just going to go back down to 168. Use Peppers. I think Usyk Peppers Fury and beats him on points. What do you say? Right now, if the fight was announced, I'd probably be picking Tyson Fury to win. I'd probably be taking Tyson Fury to win. That's a good question. I don't know why Andrew Tate wants to fight him. He literally has nothing to gain. But maybe it's Andrew Tate has a big ego. I mean, that's pretty obvious to see. So maybe he just thinks that by, any publicity is better than no publicity at all. Is there actually any confirmed and any scheduled fights with a confirmed date in boxing that people would actually be excited about? I'm reasonably excited for Josh Warrington versus Albert. I think it's Albert though. Albert. Reasonably excited for that. And the long and the short of it is no, none of the others. Will boxing ever be reformed in our lifetime? I mean, mafias like PBC and someone being kicked out and Central. I doubt it. I doubt it, mate. I really do. Probably not. I probably won't get to see it. I don't think any of us will see it. It's good. Maybe we will. I don't know. You never know. But I doubt it. I would probably go Areola, White. No, I would go. I would go Areola, White, and maybe Zhang, if you're willing to risk that. And then maybe go and see about world titles. And I think that's a great fight. No. No, I think I was spot on. I think that this is a guy who's never even made 175 pounds. I think this is someone who just he plays boxing. He can't play boxing. So I think, if anything, I think I went a bit easy on him. Truth be told, in those videos, cheating in boxing still baffles me, and all that money still cheat. Morally, I'd rather lose. Man, people will always do that in boxing. Any advantage anyone can get in boxing, they will try and get it. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Is it right? Of course not. Of course it ain't right. But what can you do? 100 views in the building and 43 likes. See if we can get it up to 50 likes by the end of this stream. We'll go for another 10 or so minutes. Let's give it another 10 minutes and we'll see how we go. Because, yeah, no, as I said, I haven't got many of these. Would you take? Never. Never, 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 never. And never again. There's a lot of things I never do. It's not worth it. I just wouldn't do that. That's just not worth it, mate. Just why the hell would anyone do that? That's just not worth it. Is there cheating in football, you think? See, I don't really look into that as much as I would boxing, so I couldn't really say it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Again, I don't know much about his background, to be honest, which is like, apparently so. Apparently they're from Tipperary, I think. I think they're from Tipperary anyway. Won't be reformed because it's just a load of independent businesses. Nobody is going to voluntarily give up their business. Yeah, exactly. And that's what boxing is, truth be told, at the end of the day. You know, the WBC ain't going to give it up, WBA ain't going to give it up, but they're making money. Who ain't going to be? Yeah, you could do that, and it worked in darts, but I just can't see that happening in boxing. And at the end of the day, you had people in darts who broke away, and you know, a lot of them, some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them came back after the breakaway, and they weren't offered anything, really. They were offered, like, basically, you know, their wages and stuff like that, but compared to the money boxing could offer you, yeah, man, everyone has a price. Look at all the that company fighters didn't lose anything. That money, why from? Why not? Every boxer is juicing, and it's mad to think otherwise. Is there corruption in F1? Oh, hell yeah, I'd say there is. In fact, there definitely is. A sport like F1, that's so competitive, man. Of course there's corruption going on there. There has to be. I don't think they should. A 2-minute round, see, the pace would be too much for a lot of them fighters. But I think 12 rounds is perfect as it is. If you go to 15 rounds, that's where you get into the real risky area. And I don't think they need to go into that. I think 12 rounds is perfect. I think 12 rounds is perfect. If you go over that, you might have problems. You know, you might have problems. So I'll keep it as that. I keep it as that. Yeah, that was really, really bad. You know, that whole golden tournament thing, I didn't really understand it because it was just like, you know, what are they getting out of it? You know, there was not really anything made about it. And O'Hara Davis has done nothing. You know, I mean, Bolotnik's won it, and he ended up getting fed as an away opponent to Joshua Buatsi. So they didn't really gain anything. I hope they got paid well for them fights. I'm sure they did. But they didn't gain anything out of it, you know, in the long run. I mean, like, there was no promotional deal. I mean, the thing was, you were promised a contract with a major promoter. That never happened. It literally never happened. So, yeah, they ended up gaining really nothing out of it. I hope they were well paid, you know, as I said, for the fights. But other than that, they just didn't gain anything out of it. That whole golden contract was a big you-know-what show. It really was. My theory is that Beterbiev ruined Anaziz in camp for Joe Smith Jr. Check Anaziz's interview about the sparring and his performance have dipped since. Didn't O'Hara Davis turn down his winning contract in the end, said it wasn't worth the contract? I don't know. Don't remember that. That's interesting if he did. Well, I wonder what happened to Bolotnik then, because would he not have done the same then? Because he was kind of, I'll say hung out to dry, but he didn't get any promotional deal. He just got an away date with Eddie Hearn on a matchroom show in Fight Camp last year. It's an interesting one. That's actually an interesting one. I have to look into that. People have been going for about 50 minutes. Yeah, no way he's making cruiserweight. No way, man. I've been going for about 50 minutes. I'm probably going to call up shop here. So we've 98 in the building, and boom, there we go. 50 odd likes. Boom. There we go. People, I'm going to call it here. I'll hopefully maybe Friday, if depending on how the boxing news goes and if anything takes place, maybe try and get another one of these in. But for now, and maybe even Sunday as well. I miss the old Sunday streams. So we'll try and get one in then. For now, lad and lasses, I'm just going to leave you there. For now, smash the like button on your way. It's 160 is in the building. I'll talk to you people. Peace. Paul C. X says it down there. Peace.